Okay, recording this video after the close of trade, Wednesday, the 25th of April 2018. Do hope you are doing well. So this video, I actually want to talk about gold, silver, platinum, the precious metals, and a news report that came out yesterday with a little quote from Jeff Gundlach, genius guy. And I want to talk about the chart and what I'm seeing on the gold chart compared to what he is seeing. But before getting into the charts, just to say thank you to everybody who's sent us good wishes, because we're still on the island of Kauai, just above the beautiful town of Hanalei. And they had a bit of a natural disaster here. It's about 10 days ago now. We had 28 inches of rain in 24 hours before the rain gauge broke. They think it's closer to 38 inches of rain in something like 36 hours or something like that, but it caused a huge flood in the town down from the mountains, and it kind of wiped out the I mean, the town was underwater by about 3 feet or so for the best part of 2 days until the water kind of receded, and it impacted the beach, the wildlife, and a huge number of people's lives have been changed forever, because there are communities north of Hanalei Bay that I think there are 17 landslides, and they're kind of cut off or have been cut off and will be for months. They've been rescued and moved around by boats and so on, but it'll take months for the roads and the landslides to be kind of repaired. So we luckily were kind of out of the fray. We're kind of up higher at a place called Princeville, if you know this kind of location. Electricity was on and off, and that was about all that we were affected. But there are some people in the local communities that are incredibly badly affected. If you do want to kind of check it out, there's all kinds of stories on Twitter. This has not made the mainstream news at all, to kind of the disgust of a lot of people in the community. But if you want to check it out, and there are some GoFundMes and some Amazon wish lists that are available if you want to contribute to kind of helping the people out in this community. Anyway, thank you for everybody who sent kind of good wishes, and hope we're okay. We're doing fine, but you know, there are some people around us who are doing it tough. Anyway, want to talk about gold and silver on the longer term charts, the daily charts, because Jeff Gundlach, who is, you know, a certified genius. I love the guy. Everything that he contributes to the public community, about, you know, his thoughts on particularly the bond market, but, you know, equities in general, agricultures versus tech, and all this kind of stuff. Just some brilliant work. And I think I did a video a while ago about his kind of proxy for interest rates using price of gold and copper, which is just fascinating. That he kind of contributed to, you know, the open community, which is much appreciated. But came out the other day, just a day ago, saying that something big is happening in gold. Get ready, it's going to be exciting. This is what Zero Hedge kind of came out with. They kind of quoted him. It wasn't his kind of main point of, you know, kind of releasing a press release or kind of talking to the media. It was just as an afterthought that he kind of added this in. The next big move is likely to be in gold. It's getting exciting. Something big is happening. And he's talking about a head and shoulders, a bottom base, so an inverted head and shoulders, signaling a moving $1,000 in gold prices. And so his view is that we're kind of in a bottoming phase. We've been in congestion in gold for a while, likely to see an upside break. Well, I respectfully have to disagree. Currently, with the way my charts are showing it, I think we might be falling for a dip in gold, silver, precious metals. So just want to show you those charts and just kind of flag. I mean, there's a trade lining up, I agree, because we have been in congestion and we're waiting to go in a particular direction. But all I'm seeing on my charts is weakness. Now, that could be weakness that leads to a big sell-off that then the professionals kind of buy the dip and then we kind of rally back up. But let me just show you what I'm seeing on my charts. So first of all, this is the usual setup with the multiple time frames. It's on a daily chart, works on tick charts, on minute charts, on daily charts, actually on weekly charts as well now. But here we've got the system setup where we've got strength is shown with red bars and weakness is shown in white bars. And then we've got the better sine wave indicator on all three time frames, with these big red and white lines showing the highest time frame support and resistance. And then I like looking at the patterns with the professionals and the amateurs on this side and with the momentum line just kind of side by side. So here's something that I'm seeing on my charts is that, okay, back in July of 16, we had exhaustion by bearish divergence, flush patterns with a nice end of trend and all these blue professional bars kind of up these highs, and we fell off. We fell off into a really big zone. I will say watch for these big ranging blue professional bars, because here's one here back in October of last year, or the year before actually, October 16, and we've kind of been playing with the highs of that. That has marked an area of this 1376, 75 kind of level up here that has been incredibly important over the last year and a half. So big ranging bars, we fell off. We kind of test back into it again. We test all the way to the high of it. And look at this, blue professional bars here come into that high, bang, and we kind of sell off hard. We sell off with an exhaustion sell and Rambo patterns. Also, those are unstable. That move is being led by the amateurs. So the amateurs here thinking, okay, yeah, gold is collapsing. Let's kind of get short. And so the average trade size is low, showing that that's amateur activity going on there. And it's also with an exhaustion pattern. So there's a lot of kind of combined volume kind of selling down into that. And because the amateurs are leading the way, it's suspect. And we bounce back from there. But we come back into these highs again at this 1370 kind of level. More blue professional bars at the high. And we've had a whole series of them, up here. And this one in the last couple of weeks we had back into the highs, and now we've got a triple going on, triple resistance. We've got resistance on the highest time frame, the intermediate time frame, and the lowest time frame. So the little light ones are the lowest time frame, the medium ones are the intermediate time frame, and the big dots are the highest time frame. So they kind of look like lines in one time frame. As we kind of bunch the chart up, but they're actually just dots. So we've got a triple going on there. So big things happen at triples. But, in the background, what we've had is exhaustion by bearish divergence. That's showing, the volumes kind of run out. We've tested into the highs. We've had blue professional bars at the highs taking profits here, and the amateurs, down here at the lows. Again, at the highs here. It's setting up for, a trade to the downside. And so here's the system view of the world. And what we've been breaking supports, which is why the system is showing weakness here. And this is, not unlike one of our kind of 5-step setups where we have exhaustion by bearish divergence. That's step 1. Step 2, we have end of trends. Well, there's no end of trends, but a lot of cyclical resistance kind of going on here. We have the first sign of weakness, which is why we have this dotted white line, potential change in trend, and a low risk entry point. So that's 4 of the 5 steps kind of going on here. The only thing that's left is us to have more confirmation. We've just had a couple of breaks on the lowest time frame. That's what these little dots show us here. Breaks and breaks here. As we come back down and at some point over the next few days form a support on the lowest or intermediate time frame, if we break that again, that'll give us kind of confirmation that we're in a downtrend. But we're also tight in here. If Jeff Gundlach is correct, a break above 1350, kind of above here, will be significant. It'll be above 3 resistance lines. It'll take us into an uptrend. But at the moment, we've got weakness going on. We just need kind of confirmation going on here. Just as an aside, I like to sometimes think of that 5-step setup. I kind of simplify it a little bit. When I see dot, line, dot on my chart, so this is dot, line, dot on my charts, that's the beginning of a potential kind of change in trend. So bearish divergence, potential change in trend, a low risk entry point. All we need then is confirmation by continuing to break supports on different time frames. So dot, line, dot, if you like, is a simple kind of way of seeing these kind of trades kind of set up. So that's gold. So gold is showing weakness after exhaustion. We can't get through those resistance. So a potential trade to the downside. But if everything breaks above these 1350 kind of levels up here, then we're away to the races, and Gundlach will be correct. On the silver side of things, well, silver's showing same pattern on the better pro-am, so what the professionals are doing. Yep, definitely at the bottom of this channel down at 1550, they picked it up at the lows after exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence kind of comes in. But we could not go anywhere with this. You know, we couldn't get through 18 up here, and you can see all of these blue professional bars. This is like a U-turn up here and then down. This last move last week, or the combination of last week and this week, is again, that's a U-turn. That's blue professional up bars. You know, they're getting short on the way up, and then they're chasing it on the way down. Now, in the overnights, I think this is the overnights kind of going on here. Yeah, the overnights, we've got a little bit of strength. I mean, not surprisingly, you know, with a Gundlach kind of coming out with a positive view on gold, that could change everything. But that is not looking good. It's like what you need to see for markets to rally is blue professional bars at the lows, at any of these lows here. If we'd have professionals kind of stepping in here and rallying to highs, that would be a good pattern for showing some kind, because the supports at the moment are holding and the resistance lines on silver at least are being kind of broken, and that's why the system is showing strength in silver here with a couple of breaks here. So silver at the moment is not showing exactly the same thing. We've got weakness on the gold chart there, we've got strength on the silver chart, but you know, all we need is, again, we're coming up to a similar situation where we've got you know, some significant supports here, you know, 1577 down here. If that kind of gets broken, we're away to the races on the downside. And so, you know, silver slightly different pattern. Platinum looking more like gold. So here is platinum, again, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. Blue professional bars kind of come in here, they sell it down. This little combination, they've sold it down, because what happens after they enter tells you which directions, what the professionals were doing. So here on this little congestion, they were obviously selling because it kind of followed with weakness. We come back into that little zone, we've sold it down again. So platinum is really weak. And when you look at the system view of platinum, there we go. And here we've got dot, line, dot. So here's dot, line, and then there's the low risk entry point here. So kind of, you know, $1,000 was critical level on platinum. We're showing all this weakness here. So who knows? We're in congestion with these things, and so let's kind of wait and see for more kind of confirmation. But it's interesting. I think it's on a lot of people's radar because of, you know, what Gundlach has said kind of recently. If you want to play it and be super aggressive, here is a gold short. DGLD. So GLD is the normal ETF for gold, and this is the, I think it's a triple short on gold. So it's an aggressive play. And these things, you know, all the literature says they're not designed to be held. They're supposed to be kind of day trading vehicles and maybe an overnight hold, but not more than that. But, you know, if you want to be an aggressive trader, this is, you know, looking like it might be, you know, kind of support some kind of breakdown in gold. And again here, it's a little bit more scratchy because, you know, these things don't trade with a huge amount of volume, so you see a lot more kind of gappy type bars kind of going on here. If you look at all this activity, a lot of gappy kind of activity. But, you know, here's a dip, blue professional bars kind of step in. We've got our exhaustion pattern on the left shoulder, bullish divergence and flush gone on here at this 38 level, and that is holding, and we're starting to think about breaking above resistance. On the system view, here we go. Have we got ourselves a triple? No, not quite. You know, it was almost like a triple here with this overlap, but we've got support, support here. We're kind of flush below it. It's weak at the moment, but we just need a break above 42 and holding above 42, and this would flip into an uptrend. And we've got, you know, a lot of exhaustion selling on the downside to support that potential move to the upside. So if you want to be aggressive, that would be a way to kind of play it, but, you know, might be worth just waiting for absolute kind of confirmation on this. As I said, on the gold, you know, if we start breaking a triple here, then it'll be, you know, kind of away to the races on the upside, because big things happen at triple. We either have big breakouts or big breakdowns. So let's just see what kind of goes on here. I'll also link at the bottom of this article, this video post, to the kind of feature article on gold, which I did years ago. But everybody talks about gold as being, you know, inverse to money printing. I'm kind of more in the camp with Martin Armstrong. It's more to do with political uncertainty. So when there's political uncertainty, gold goes up. when things are looking kind of smoother sailing, then gold tends to weaken. Yes, there is, the money printing aspects of things and QE and so on. That's an element of it. There's kind of lots of drivers of gold potentially. So that's gold, but let's just talk about the E-mini for a second, because I think we're at an important kind of decision point, inflection point. I'm going to show you just a couple of charts on the E-mini. First of all, this is the 45-minute chart, again with the same setup, the multiple time frame better indicators, system view, and kind of the detail view here. You can use these on tick bar charts, minute bars, daily charts, and weekly charts. Again, with minute bars, they tend to be a little more scratchy. I like the tick bar charts, but they work perfectly well with the minute bars as well. So I'm going to show you this on the 45-minute chart and then on the 4500 tick bar chart. So this is our activity since February, where we have a big kind of sell-off here. And the activity that we've had is exhaustion sell. Down to this 2550 level, kind of down here. We come back down again into it, another exhaustion sell. We put in a nice little bullish divergence, flush pattern, kind of holding it here at 2550. And this last day's activity, we have another exhaustion sell, or the combination of Tuesday and Wednesday here. We have an exhaustion sell here coming into not quite down as far as that, but the 2600 levels kind of holding here. Now, so that level here at 2600 is really important. And what we've had today's activity, we had a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in down here at these lows. So the professionals were getting interested. We also have a couple of supports, end of trends going off on the low and the intermediate time frame. We punched through that one. This one is the first sign that they've held. So the lowest time frame, that support is holding at the moment with those blue professional bars kind of going in here. So potentially Wednesday's activity is going to be really critical. I think we had some big numbers kind of released after the close. I think Facebook was coming out with some numbers and so on. So a lot of those things will kind of impact what's going on. But it's an important level down here, and today we actually held. And then if on the system view, you can see that exhaustion, bullish divergence flush, and then exhaustion again, so clearing everybody out. So it's almost like we're getting rid of all of those sellers. But we have to start breaking resistances on the upside. So let's see if we can kind of start to do that. 45-minute chart, I would say, is paralleled with the 4500 tip bar chart, but we've had so much volume kind of coming through over the last several months, really, that the 4500 tip bar chart is showing a lot more activity, a lot more granularity. So it's almost like a 15-minute chart, if you like. But let's go down. Let's have a look at the 45-minute chart and see what was going on. So first of all, here's today's activity. So these are the close, the yellow dotted lines, close of yesterday, open of today, close of today. And you see here, really important level down here at 2620. So if I pull back to end of trend on the lowest time frame here, pull back to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, and support on the highest time frame. So a whole bunch of support levels kind of coming in here. And then this was the killer activity today. Bang. 3 blue professional bars on that 4500 tip bar chart, setting in here, not letting the market go below 2620. They step in at those lows and we rally for the rest of the day. And I think this overnight activity is being driven by Facebook or something like that. So that level is really important. We had this sell-off yesterday, pretty hard and fast on the downside. I was totally surprised. I thought we were going to catch around here. I was short into this move for a nice one. I think it was an 8-pointer on the downside, but the thing went another 20 points, and I was not even looking at this. I thought I was done for the day. But anyway, so today's activity after yesterday and today, bottoming at those important levels, and you can start to see on the system view, bang, we're breaking into strength and uptrend. So we had confirmed uptrend. Let me just turn this on, so you can see back a little bit. So we had exhaustion sell, bullish divergence comes in, confirmed uptrend on the way up here. And then after pullback into trend, we break into a downtrend, confirmed downtrend, kind of on the way down here. We have a think about it at this level, but then we continued through 2620 all the way down, and that was confirmed downtrend all the way through. That's what that white line is showing you there. Now we've broken into confirmed uptrend. So I'm not suggesting to chase it and kind of get on board here, but we're starting to break 3 time frames, intermediate, low, and highest time frame all being broken kind of here in the overnight session. So let's see where this goes kind of overnight. So there we go. There's a couple of charts on the precious metal charts, gold, silver, platinum, and let's see if we get a breakdown in those over the next couple of days. And then the equities market, which has found an area of support at this 2620. So let's see if that kind of holds and we rally from here. Anyway, there we go. Hope your trading is going well.